Sobriety. I don't feel bad about it anymore. I was watching an interview with Donald Trump. Yes, very controversial. I was halfway through it and I decided to kind of make this reflection. So they were talking about how he doesn't drink at all, not even a drop. This is what allegedly he said, which kind of makes sense, and I'm gonna get into it, um, as we go through this reflection. That hit me harder than I expected, especially because a bunch of high level people in his circle backed it up. I'm not saying I follow every move the man makes, but in business, finance, and power games, you need your brain, period. Alcohol messes with that. It dulls your edge, and in a world where so many people move emotionally, you need to be the one who sees clearly. That's leverage. I've had drinks before, but these days I rarely drink. Maybe once every few months, socially. And even then, it's deliberate, not out of pressure. I'd rather raise my vibration. However, I don't think I'll miss it if I never touch the stuff again. The deeper thing I'm starting to see is that peer pressure doesn't always look like do this. Sometimes it's just the unspoken vibe. I want the person who can I want to be the person who can walk into any room, business or social, and be fully present, clear, and in control. Now, I will say this. I think wine is different, not because of the alcohol, but because the culture wined it. And this is just me personally. Wine is about pacing, nuance, conversation. There's an art to it. I actually enjoy that. But pounding drinks at a event, pounding drinks at a networking event just to fit in, nah, that's not wealth energy. That's not about numbing or escaping. It's about connection and taste. Big difference. Recently, I was at a business dinner where wine was on the table. And I noticed something. I didn't feel comfortable drinking around certain people. Just like certain business people, you realize what was at stake. When there's money or power in the room, sobriety is a form of dominance. You're the one holding the line. So if I'm in a room with 20 people drinking and I'm the only one with water in hand, I don't feel weird anymore. I feel focused, I feel free. Control is sexy, sobriety is power. And the reason why I wanted to make this specific reflection is because when I was listening to Donald Trump speaking, there was a certain book that came up. I don't know if it's an actual book or if it's just like, a transcript, but it was called Brain Power for Businessman, and I think it was composed by Andrew Carnegie. I think he was the first billionaire, like one of the first like multimillionaires way back in the day, at least in the early 1900s, as far as, that whole rabbit hole goes. And he was saying that you need to be sober. Like he said, like don't even touch this stuff as far as drinking goes. He said, don't even touch it. And that was interesting to me because in the area that I grew up in and the kind of, stuff that I've seen, you would think that like people could be a little more responsible with the choice they make, and people are getting better at their choices. They're getting a lot better actually, which is one reason why I'm sitting here reflecting on this and why I decided to move to certain areas and why I decided to like put my mind into certain spaces and rooms is because I want to be, among some of the more affluent, some of the more wealthier people in our society. And it's interesting is like the more you want to raise your vibration and the higher you want to go, upward and onward, you find that people are very much present. They're very much alive and in the moment. And in order for you to have that, you need to be sober and you need to be like here. And I guess it's like anything else, like wine or whatever, or like alcohol. It affects everyone differently. Um, Someone once said the exceptions don't disprove the norms. Um, but yeah, me personally, I mean, it's just a personal thing. I like the whole culture of wine. Like it's just like this whole, it's like a whole thing, right? But I mean, like I said in the reflection, if I, stay sober for the rest of my, until like I'm 80, like I'm fine with that. I don't really have a need for that. I mean, I guess everyone has like their thing, but this reflection was about being sober and sobriety. And that was as far as like you need your brain and you wanting to have like the oxygen flow through your brain or something. I'm not really a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that's how that stuff works. Quote me if I'm wrong, or you know, answer me in the description below, like how that actually works. And let me know, do you guys drink? If you do drink, what's your drink of choice? And for me, I like red wine. Depending on the situation, maybe rosé or whatever. But I like me some red wine. It's very nice. And obviously you're not going to. Obviously, you're gonna be responsible. And yeah, this was a nice little reflection. So good stuff. Good stuff.